Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn how to automate Facebook sign up page using Selenium Java. First, I'll navigate to the Facebook page. Just click on the create new account. Here we have to fill this all the details. You need to fill the first name, surname, and here we have a drop down. Right, the date and month year we have to select from the drop down. And here the gender we need to select from the radio button. Okay, enter that mobile number and email address and clicking on a new password. So we are not going to submit the form since it is for automation purpose, right? So we'll just use some dummy data, all right? So initially we're going to start from the single data, the script itself. Then we are going to understand how we have to validate with the multiple set of data. So we are going to store multiple set of data in that Excel sheet, and we are going to, read the data from the Excel sheet. Okay. So now let us start. So first thing is we need to open a Chrome browser. Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. So we are just instantiate the class Chrome driver class. Okay. So you need to import the packages from the Chrome driver class. So this is you need to import. Then we can maximize the window. If you want to maximize driver.manage.window.maximize. Okay. Then we'll navigate to the particular URL. So for that, what we can do, I just copy the URL from here. So driver dot, you need to call the get method. Here you can pass your URL. Okay. So we are opening the Chrome browser and maximizing the window, navigate to the Facebook page. So after that, what we need to click on the create new account. So if you want to perform any action on the web element, you need to find the locator first. So you can inspect that element. So now this is the element. See here we have a no ID, there is no name. So we can have a text is there, right? Using the text, we can create our own export. So let's click on a control here. Here we can add. So this is the tag name is a A. You can start from the tag name A. Text equal to, you can pass the text what you have copied. Close the square bracket. See now it is highlighting. So this is the correct text. Just copy the export. Driver dot find element by dot export. You can pass the okay. Just that is a only we need to click on the button. So just use the click method. Okay. Now once you are clicking on that create new account, so here it is navigate to this page. Right. So before entering all the fields, we want to make sure whether it is navigate to the page or not. So for that you can get the text from this element and you can compare with them. Right. I just copy this one, create a new account. So if you want to compare, you can add that. So expected equal to this is the screen. Right? If the text is that, then the page is exactly it is navigated. So if you want to compare, right? So you can get the actual value string actual equal to driver dot find element by dot. So here you need to get this element, right? So you just copy that. See here also we have a text is there. You just copy the text. You can write your own export same way. This is the tag name is a div. So you can say control here. You can give /div text equal to. You can pass the value. See now it is getting highlighted. You can copy that. Okay, by dot export and pass the value. So now what you have to do, you need to get the text, right? So for that you can say dot get text. So get text means it is going to return you the string value. That is where we are stored it in a string. So now we have a expected and actual. So now we need to compare, right? What is that? How to compare that? You can use the if condition. Okay, if you are using a TestNG, you can use the assertion as well. or if you can use the if condition also. So now I am going with the if condition. If expected dot equals, you can pass the actual. So now this dot equals method will going to return you the boolean value, right? True or false. So if the condition is true, then we can say, we can print a message. Maybe you can add test pass. So if the condition is false, if it is coming into that else block, then you can print test fail. Okay. So now let us run this much. How this is working. So let's run this. It's opening the Chrome browser and navigate to the Facebook page and clicking on a create new account, right? So now let's see test pass. If anything is mismatched, then it is going to be the test fail. Okay. So now let us move on to the entering all the details. So first we need to go to the first name. First name, see we have a name is there, ID is there. We can go with the name. Okay. Any of the, so you can say first name. Driver dot find element by dot, we can say name. So dot here we need to pass the same keys because we have to using the text box, right? You need to enter some value over there. If you want to enter some value, then you need to use the same keys method. So here you can pass any value, maybe Facebook. Okay. Then we have to find the second name, right? That is the surname. Driver dot find element by dot. I'll just go over here. See, here also name is there. You can copy the name. By dot name. Same keys. You can add any value. See, this is some dummy data I'm just entering. Okay, I'm not going to submit the form. That is the reason. So first name, surname. What is that next? We have a date of birth. So this is the drop down, right? So if you want to select the drop down, right? So you can use the select class, right? So here we have a ID is there, right? ID is a date. Select date. So driver dot find element by dot ID. So we have to use that select class, right? So you can store this element. So you can say this is the web element date equal to. So web element you can import the packages first. It's from Selenium. So now we have to call the select class. So for that you can say new select. Here you need to pass the web element. So select class you can import the packages for, and you can pass the, see this is the constructor actually, it is asking you the web element. So you need to pass the web element. What web element already we have stored, right? So you can just copy them, the variable. So now in the select class, we have a different method is there. That is visible text, value or index you can pass. Now I'll go with the visible text. Here we need to pass the, what is the text actually? See, this is the text 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what date you want to select, you can pass the date. So you can say any of the date. Okay. So now we have selected the date. Then we have to select month. Okay. So for that, the element month equal to month, you can see month also we have a ID user, right? So driver dot find element by dot ID, you can pass the value. So now we identify the locators. Then the same way we need to call the select class. Select. Here we need to pass month. Okay, so month dot select by. You can go with the index or any values as well. Now I'm just using a select by visible text. So here in the month, right? So here we have a Jan, Feb, March is there. So you can pass any of the text from here. So I'm just going to use March. Okay, it's going to select the March, right? The date is a 15. So now I want to select year, right? Select web element year equal to we can go to year. Here also ID is there. So you can get the ID by dot ID. New select here you can pass here dot select by. You can pass the select by index as well. I'm going to use select by visible text. So what is that visible text? Here you can say, so this is the year. You can pass any of the year. So I'm just going to some year. Okay. So now what we have done, we have entered the first name and surname and date of birth also we have done. Now we need to select any of the options from the gender. Okay. So now I'll go to that. See what we can do. If I navigate to here, if I pointing to the particular radio button, the ID is there, name is there. See, even if you go and identify this one, here also ID name. See, both that ID names are same. So better we can come from parent to child. Okay. What we can do, first we'll come to the parent, here label. From that, you can coming into the child class. So I just write the XPath for that. So the XPath, you can see this is the label, right? The tag name is a label and we have a text is there. So you can say label, text, whatever the value you want to, you can pass female or male, whatever it is, you can pass. So now you are identify the parent. From here, you need to come to the input, right? See now it is coming down. So now this is the things you want to select. Okay. If you want to select the mail option, right? So what you need to do, you need to write label and the mail. And if you come down, it will be navigate to the next radio button. Okay. The same way for the customers. So I'll just copy this export, select, change. Dot find element by dot. We have a export. Then copy the export. Just we need to click on them. Okay. Now we identify the gender and we select on that. The next one is a two text box only. There is a mobile number and the new password. So for this, here we have a name is there, right? You can use a name. I'll just copy the name. Select mobile or email. Driver dot find element by dot we have a name is there. So you can pass the name. Okay. This is you need to enter the same keys. So same keys you can add any of the email or mobile number. You can pass testfb@gmail.com. So the next thing is we have to select the password. Select new password. So we'll see what is the locator for the password. Password field we have see password field also we have a name is there. Then copy the name. name, you can pass the value, and this is also we need to send keys, right? Dot send keys, you can pass any other pass. Okay. So as I said before, I'm not going to click on a submit button. I mean sign up button, because just we are using all the some dummy data. So this time I'm adding all the data over here. Right? If you want to, if you want to validate the same sign up page with the multiple set of data, that we can do that with the, can store all the test data in our separate Excel sheet, and we can call the data. And now I have added all the data here in the script Excel. Okay, so now let's run this merge. We'll see how this is working. Let's save this and run this. Okay, now it's entering all the values, right? If you want to minimize the window, especially when dealing with the dynamic application, right? Where locators or values are keep on changing. So you can minimize the window. It's going to help you to better identify the issues within the application. You can achieve this by using, I'll just, once the application execution is over, I want to minimize the window. So I can say driver dot manage dot window dot minimize. And that is also we can do that. And run this. See now, everything is done. You want to make sure whether everything is executed or not. If everything is printed or not, this is the way you can go and validate. Okay, all the values are correct or not. Okay, that is where you can add a minimize window. This is for try run only. So we are not going to use this in our execution time. Okay, fine. So now this is the way you can sign up your page. Now let us move on to that, how to execute that sign up page with the multiple set of data. Okay, let us do that. First, I will close all the applications. See, in the Excel sheet, I have created, some data. Okay, first name, surname, date, month, year, right, gender, and mobile number and new password. So I have created this Excel sheet with the, now I have created a 3 set of data. So I want to validate the sign up page with the multiple set of data. Okay, so let us do that. So already we have identified all the locators and all, so we can just copy that and we can do that. So what I'll do, I'll create a new class. Multiple data. So three set of data we have right now. So now first I am going to use that TestNG part so that we'll go and create a before method, after method, right? So because every time, so first see here what we have done, we are opening the browser. So this is the only one test cases. So we have written that opening the browser and maybe get to the URL and all. If suppose I have a 10 set of data. So 10 time it has to iterate. So 10 times I can't able to go and write the same code again and again. So instead of that, we can go with the before method and after method. Right? So before method, so let us write a code for that. We can use a setup method. So in this setup method, I'm just going to call the driver. So first what I have to say WebDriver driver. Okay, just globally initialize this one. You can import the packages because the driver we are going to call with the different classes, different methods. Okay, in the same class, different methods. So we have to declare that globally. We have to declare. So now what we can do, we'll say driver equal to, here we are going to initialize. driver equal to new. So whatever the browser you want, you can see. I mean, if you want to open a Edge browser or Safari, right, Firefox, you can go with it. Now I'm using a Chrome driver. So you can import the Chrome driver class as well. So now here we can say driver dot manage. Maybe I'll copy from here. Okay, that is a fine. I'll just copy these two lines. So now driver dot manage, we are using a maximizing the window and just navigate to the URL. Okay, if you want, you can add a wait statement as well. So wait statement, you can say driver dot manage dot, you can call timeout. Here you can call the implicit wait. Okay, you can pause the duration dot out seconds. You can pause any seconds, 10 seconds or 15 seconds as per the application. So now this is the before method. You can pause the annotation. You can pause the annotation, say before method. Okay, you can import the packages that is coming from the TestNG. The same way we have another method that is a after method. Okay, we'll create another method that is a public void read down method. So you can close the driver dot quit. Once the application, I mean the execution is over, you need to close it. So you can add a condition as well. If suppose driver dot driver, maybe you can say not equal to null. Okay, not equal to null, then you can close. Okay, so this is the way you can add a. So now add an annotation called after method. So what happened? This will going to execute after that execution. I mean, the first it will going to execute the before method, then test case will going to execute. Then we have a after method will going to execute. Now let's write a test cases. Okay, so let us write a test cases here. So in this class, I'm not using a main method, right? Because we are going to go to the TestNG, so we are not using main method. Separately, I have created a before method and after method. Now I'm going to create a test cases. Okay, so the test cases, what it is going to, I'll say you can say sign up page. Please go sign any of the things. Okay, now here we need to pass arguments. So what are the arguments we need to pass? See here first name, surname, date, right? So all the argument you need to pass it. Whenever the test case is running, so it should read the data from the another method, that is the data provider method. So now let us go and add all the argument over here, right? So the argument is, first thing is what we need to say string, first name, string, last name, okay, then string, date of birth, day, okay. So string, date of birth, month, or you can say day, month also, that is also fine. And we have another string, date of birth, year, right? Then string, gender. Then we have a string, you can say mobile or email. I'll go with the email. Okay, string email, and we have a string password. Okay, so all the arguments we have added. So now this is the test. So we'll call the @test method. Okay, so now here this method, right? So we need this much of data. So who is going to provide this data? Data is provided by the data provider method. So we have another method we need to create, that is a data provider. So in this method, we're going to return you all the data. So data provider method will going to read the data from your Excel sheet. Okay. I have created this Excel sheet and store it in the, see here in a data. One folder I created and I store it in the test data sheet here only. Okay. Fine. So now let us create a data provider method first. Okay. So for that, we can say public. So go to get data. So that is a method. You can give any method name. So now I'm going to show you one of the things. So how to read the data. Okay. How to read the data from Excel sheet. I have created a separate class for that. So this will going to get the sheet and it is going to get the row count and it's a column count and it is going to get the cell data from your Excel. Okay. I have created a separate sheet class for that, right? So I'm going to call this class. Okay. Then, so I'll show you how we have to call that. I'm going to call that class. So before that, what we can do is say public. So Excel reader is a this class, right? This file equal to, here we need to pass. Here you have to pass the test data set. Okay, the path. So you need to pass the path. So for that, you can see here we have a data. So for that, we can add a system dot get property. System dot get property, right? So here we need to say user dot dir. Okay. So why we are using this one? Because so the path will get from the project. Okay. So then we can go with the directly plus data. So data is a this folder from the project. This is the directly the data is the data folder. So within the data, see we have a test data set is there. So you can pass test data dot XLS text. Okay. So now Excel reader you can import. Yes. Okay. So now we just call the Excel reader class. Okay. Here we are passing the part of your file, test file, XLS file, means the data file. Okay. You can store, the test data, you can store it in a XLS or you can store it in a JSON or CSV file. Right. So whatever the data you can go with that. Now I'm just using the Excel file only. So in data provider, so this is the, so what we can do, we can pass the sheet name. So maybe if I go here, see the sheet name is a data, right? So you can pass the sheet name. So we can say string sheet name equal to, you can say data. So whatever the test name you have given, sheet name you have given, the same sheet name you can pass. So in rows equal to, already we have a method, right? In Excel dot get row count. Already the method name is there. Method will going to read the total row count. So now we are getting a row and column count as well. So column count Excel dot get column count. So here we need to pass the sheet name. So that is where we are storing the sheet name over here. Okay. So now we are getting a row count and column count. So with that we can say we'll create an object of data equal to new. Here we need to pass the row, right? Rows. Actually, we are going to start from -1. Why? Because the header we don't want, right? So that is the reason I'm just giving a rows minus 1. Then another one, we can say column. Okay, how many rows are there? How many columns are there? It is going to iterate and going to fetch the data. So that is what we are not passing any 3 rows and 4 columns like that. What we have to do, it is going to runtime, it's going to read the total row and total column. Okay, so now let's go on to the loop. So here I'm using a for loop in row number equal to, we'll start from the 2. Okay, then because row number 2, because the first row is a header. So that is the reason we are using this one. So row number less than equal to rows. Okay, less than equal to this rows, total count. See, now I am given a variable this one because of, we need to understand instead of I, J, K. So just I given a row number so that you can able to understand it. Okay, then we can say row number plus plus. We are iterating. Okay, so the same way we are going to use one more loop for the column as well. Okay, in column we are going to start from the 0 only. Okay, 0 column less than column count. Okay, then column plus. So we are getting a row and column loop iterations. So now we need to get the variable. So I can say string text equal to excel dot get cell data. So we are going to pass the get cell data. Here we need to pass name, column and row number. Okay. Now here we need to return data. If you want to print also, you can print, right? So now you can say data two arrays, right? So now here first one we need to pass row number minus 2. Why minus 2? Row number is a 0 already. Row number is a 2 actually. 2 minus 2 what happened? 0. So now I want to know 0 and 0 column. Okay, that is where we are passing this one. Show you this data of 0, right, and 0. Data of 0, 0, first iteration. Okay, that is one. Second iteration 0, 1. That is the first 0th row. I mean the first row and second column and the third column. And the next one is going to be the fourth column. Then we have a fifth column. Like that it is going to iterate. Okay, that is where we have given a data of row number minus 2 and column. Column is already 0. So we are passing directly the column. The row number already we have given a 2. So that is why here we have make it as a row minus 2. So now we will get the values. So Excel dot get cell data. Here we can pass seed name, column and row number. Okay. So now what is we can pass column number, right? So we can see and row number. Here also we can see column and row number. If you want to print the value, you can print. So now I say if you want to print, you can print the text. So that is the reason here we have given. Otherwise, no need of this two line. So directly you can go and get the value and it will pass the value in your C text. Okay. So now we have written our data method, right? The data provider. So here you can add your annotation. So saying that data provider, you can pass the name also. I mean, you can give any name equal to. Otherwise, you can go with the data provider only. Okay, then pass the data provider. So you can pass the directly the name also you can pass. Import the data provider. So here in this class, right, here you need to say what is the data provider to the particular test cases. So data provider is a, you can say data provider equal to You can say get data method. Okay. So now here from here it is going to read the data. So now let us so first thing is what we need to do. We need to click on the create new account, right? And just copy the data from here. I just copy that. This is for click on a create new account. That first one. Okay, next one only will be getting the sign up page. Okay, so we have to fill the form with the providing data. So for that we can say driver dot find element and dot first one is that we have a name, right? You can say first name. Instead of that first name we are getting from what I'll do, I'll copy that. See here, the send keys, right? This is the data. Data we have already stored it in our Excel. So what we can do, we'll just go to only we need to pass the variable. So variable, what is this? This is the variable we have given. Okay, that is what we have to do. This is for first name. The same thing for a last name and so last name also. What we are going to do, we are not going to pass any data, right? So we are going to say last name. See, the Java is a case sensitive, so what you have to make sure whatever the caps are small, what you have given in that variable, same thing you need to pass. Okay. So now we are given a first name and last name, then we need to enter the date of birth, right? Date of birth. So here we can say driver birth. So we can say, see here I'm not going to use any drop downs, right? I'm going to use the send keys. Okay. We'll go and use the send keys for it. So drop down how to handle we have seen already. Now I'm going to use the send keys for passing the data. So that is the data. Okay, that is the first one. So the next one is you can copy this one. That is for dot send keys. You can say date of month. So already we have a data stored in our Excel sheet. Then we have a month and year. Date of year. So we identify the date of birth. Now we need to select the gender, right? So for that we can go with the so here we can see, right, this is the female or male, whatever, right? So in a Excel sheet, what I have given, they are given a male, a female, or whatever it is, right? So now let us change the value sheet, right? So if suppose if you are given a male, then it is going to select the male and the next one is the input. If you are given a female, then the next child is the input means the female will going to select. So now here we are not going to pass the value. So instead of this one, what we can do, we'll go and add a. So here I can say gender. Okay. See now this is the gender. So instead of the text, right? So you can add a contents. Okay, text not equal to, we can pass a comma. So now here I have given Okay. So now this is the way you need to add. So why we have given this one? Because sometime it will be we want to select the mail or sometime we want to select the another options, right? So for that you can pass the value like that. So we are not going to hard code that only female or only male. So based on that what you want to select, you can select here. You can change the value here. So it is going to read the data from this Excel sheet only. So what is that next one? We have a new password and new password and the mobile and email number and password. Next. So for that, this is also we are not going to enter the email and password. Hmm. So we are not submitting the form. Oh. So this is a one-time effort. So the next time we can add a n number of data in a Excel sheet. It is going to iterate. So let's this much we'll save this and run this. So exception it is throwing. Okay, I'm not closing the Excel sheet actually. First we need to close the Excel sheet. Okay. We have to make sure we need to close the Excel sheet. Let us run this now. So I can give a name of this data provider as well. Okay, if you want to give the name of the data provider, you can pass the data provider name also. It's big. So even you can pass this value as well. So now let's see. If you're entering all the values, let's see. This is the third time. 200. So the three test cases, let's see. Contains text. Actually, this is the we need to add open bracket. So label we have given a contains text, right? So contains text we have given. One close open bracket I must like this. And then now it's going to work. Now let's see. So three set of data we have given so that it is going to open a browser and executing the test cases and closing the browser. Again, it is opening another browser, right? So three times it's going to open. Fine. Now it's run. See, 3 test cases pass. See, we have this is the data. Right? This is the data we have stored in our Excel sheet. So it's exactly read all the data and it is executed. See, the first time it's a female, second time and third time it is opening the male only. So we are not hard coded anything over here, right? So this is the way we need to, execute the test cases with the multiple set of data from that other, the Excel sheet. Okay. I hope this is clear. If you have any questions, you can just command it in the